Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to Miami Need for Speed, where every single video is very interesting. That's for sure. I haven't done a full in-depth review of the Reywmer Kullter Max yet. That's because I'm still in the process of evaluating. I don't like to do reviews until I actually have ridden the scooter or the motorcycle for at least 300 miles. And right now I'm at 236 miles. So at the 300-mile mark, I'll give you my scoop. But just to give you the little specifics, it's a 4,000 watt scooter, 2,600 watt nominal, as dual 1,300 watt motors, and it says mini motors on it, so I believe they're very good motors. Top speed is approximately 50 miles per hour. 50 miles per hour. I'm 6'2" and 260 pounds, and I've been able to achieve a sustained speed of 42 miles per hour, which is great for my weight. That's awesome. The battery's a 60 volt, 23.4 amp battery, and the range they say is up to 50 miles, but you know how the range is, right? It takes about 12 hours to charge. You see, let me see what how much amperage the charger is. It's a good charger, by the way. This is the charger. I know you can't see it. This is the charger right here. It does not have an internal fan, but it's solid. It feels like a brick, you know. And it says here that oh, I think I need my glasses for this one. This is what happens when you get older, guys. You need your reading glasses. I think it says it's 3 amps. Yeah, it's a 3 amp charger, which is kind of typical in the industry, and that's fine because I firmly believe that the faster you charge, like those rapid chargers, those fast chargers for phones and anything else that has a lithium-ion battery, those fast chargers, if you fast charge it all the time, I believe, in my opinion, that it's going to lead to battery degradation over the long run. You know what I mean? Some things just like to be slowly charged, you know? So, anyways, that's just my thought. But the other thing about the Reywmer is that it's the acceleration is absolutely explosive. In the P settings, there's 5 levels that you can choose from for the scooter. And right now I have it set at level 3. So imagine level, I don't know if 5 is the highest or 5 is the lowest or vice versa, but I have it set at 3 and it's just explosive in power. Remember, I'm 6'2" and 260 pounds. So if you're like 200 pounds, 60 pounds less, I mean, this scooter is just like it's a sleeper, guys. It's a total sleeper. Um, the braking is phenomenal. It has full hydraulic disc brakes, front and rear, and they're great. They're absolutely awesome. As you can see, disregard this. This is my DJI Bluetooth thing, but it doesn't have any brand on it. It just says what does it say? Quarter ride. That's it. All I know is that they work awesome. And what I really love about it is that when you brake, you don't get just a brake light. Let me show you. By the way, I'm going to talk about the voltage next, which is very important because forget about this battery gauge up here. That's somewhat useful, but yeah, you always go by the voltage. Always by the voltage. So it's 67.2 volts because I just charged it. It has a stem light. So whenever you power on the scooter, the front headlight, which is pretty bright, very bright, by the way, it always stays on. There's no way you can turn it off. And I think that's a good safety feature because it acts like a daytime running light. You know what I mean? The tires are kind of nice and wide. I have my Segway here. My Segway Max G3. The tires are this scooter. Oh yeah, it has such a sensitive alarm system. Anyways, this scooter, because scooter tires are made out of rubber and nylon, right? I noticed that the Segway, the tires grab better, and that's because they're probably made more out of rubber than nylon, as opposed to these. What else? Um, The suspension is dual spring. No, not dual spring. It's dual hydraulic suspension, front and rear. And you can see that here. And that's what makes it stable, guys. Anything that has dual stem or dual suspension in the front, that's going to keep you from the speed wobbles, right? If you see a scooter that has a steering dampener on it, that means that scooter was not engineered correctly to begin with. It's almost like an aftermarket thought, right? It just doesn't make sense because, like for example, the T-Wing Mars XTR, the pinnacle of all scooters, right? 10,000 watt scooter. It has a dual stem suspension in the front, kind of like the BMW Tevelever suspension. It's a very engineered, well engineered, and thoughtful design, and I think it's patented. I'm not sure, but anyways, you can see the suspension in the back as well. And if you compare it to the Segway Max G3, I'm sorry it's so dirty, it's kind of the same, right? You got the hydraulic things. These are adjustable in the Segway, but on the Reywmer, it is not adjustable. Look at the size of the deck, guys. I have size 13 feet, and my feet fit perfectly on this. It's so comfortable. This is not comfortable, especially with the 48-volt external battery. Whoever said it doesn't get in the way of your feet. I don't know if they wear size 5 or they have women's feet. I don't know, but it definitely gets in the way of your foot position. Hold on, let me just turn it on because it's this. One good thing about the Segway Max G3, one of the many good things about the Segway Max G3 is that the alarm system is very sensitive. So, look, when I put my feet here, right? You see that? So literally, I'm kind of like, I have to wedge my foot underneath to get inside. Now, suppose I fall. What happens if I fall? Now my foot is like, I can't freely fall off the scooter. So now my foot would be snagged, and that would lead to a potential ankle or foot injury, in addition to the other injuries that was sustained from a fall. So, why don't they invent a deck extender? Like one of those. Someone can do this, man. If someone has the capital, it's so easy to make. A deck extender that just snaps on, and it gives you like 4 or 5 inches extra. 4 or 5 inches extra of width, and you can take it even further. You can make it longer if you like, Why don't they sell that? Why don't they have that on the internet? I don't know, but they should. Whoever starts doing that is going to make a ton of money because I know that's a in-demand product. So the only thing I don't like about the riding position on a Reywmer is that if you look in the back, the tail, this is kind of useless because it's angled. The pitch is way too aggressive. It's the angle is too high. But anyways, I wanted to show you what happens when you do brake. When you brake, I'm gonna depress the brake. This is what happens. That's pretty awesome. That's a great safety design that Reywmer has incorporated into her scooter design. The other thing that I like about the scooter is that it just shut off right now. It has a 3-minute shutdown timer. I think all of those things can be adjusted in the P settings, which the manual is kind of useless because the Chinese people mean well, but they're not very good at I don't understand why can't they just hire a person that speaks English and Chinese and have them write a manual that's professional, I mean, and that people can understand, because right now it's very difficult to understand. So, but one thing that's very important is the battery, right? The batteries on these scooters are paramount. The battery is like the operating system, right? The same thing with this Tesla, right? On this Tesla, this battery is everything. So, super important. Here, I don't need a battery. Hallelujah. I love the internal combustion engine. But anyways, this has 10-inch tubeless tires. But they are not they are not filled with a tire sealant inside, a layer of tire sealant like the Segway Max G3 is, and almost all of the Segway scooters are, and many other scooter manufacturers um, are now starting to sell their scooters with that little gel inside. You know, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna deflate my tires and I'm gonna fill it up with a tire sealant that I bought. I don't know if it's here or not. So I'll do that as like a little tutorial video and I'll share it later on. But and maybe get some PMT tires from Italy, you know? Those would be cool. But what else? The screen is nice. The original Rover Run was called a Rover Run Kullter scooter, right? Something happened. They switched. The company bought the company. I don't know the business logistics or what happened behind the scenes. All I know is that now it's called the Reywmer Kullter Max, and it shares almost. Excuse me. It shares almost this all the same stuff that was on the original Rover Run Kullter Max is on the Reywmer Kullter Max. There's a new one that was released in late 2025. But there are some slight differences, obviously. Remember on the old Rover Run where the throttle was, they had the little mini motors, EUI, little whatever, with a little round LCD screen. Well, now that's been replaced with this, which I think is nice. What else? This scooter is collapsible. It has collapsible handlebars, right? I don't know why they did that, because it's a heavy scooter. Like, who's going to carry this around in the first place? But they did it. But the wonderful thing about it is that it feels like one solid handlebar. There's no shaking. There's no anything loose. It just feels like one solid handlebar. It's very well made. And that was one of my concerns when I bought the scooter, because I've seen the solar scooters, you know, and a lot of them have those foldable handlebars. And as far as structural integrity goes, especially when you're going at high speeds and doing high speed turns and carving and stuff like that, the you want a solid handlebar. You want everything to be solid, right? If it could just make the entire scooter, like, you know, out of one mold, you know, what is it called? Unicast or diecast or something like that, that would be great. But, you know, it is what it is. The other difference is that the old Rover Run, the latching mechanism was not here. The latching mechanism was on the front of the scooter. So, and the latching mechanism on this is wonderful. It's great. I like it a lot. The hydraulic brakes, again, I'm 260 pounds, 6'2". And the hydraulic brakes are awesome in this scooter. They really are. They're very, very well made. It's a very excellent executed, well-engineered scooter. They really thought about it before they made it. Obviously, we're going off Rover Run, so they didn't have to think about too much, right? But it's interesting, very interesting. I like it a lot. It's a wonderful scooter. The only thing I have, the only complaint I have, is that I wish the stem was a little bit higher, like maybe 4 or 5 inches higher. You know, I know you can't tell in the pictures next to the Segway Max G3. You can't tell, but when I get on this scooter, it just seems like the handlebars are a little bit too low for me. Not too much. Whereas this is the absolutely correct position for me. Ergonomically, the Segway Max G3 wins, and the Reywmer does not. But other than that, that's it. I don't know why they put this kickstand there. That looks like a little flimsy kickstand that's not going to last a long time. You know, this Segway, and I'm going to do a comparison video one day, so watch for that. And I'm going to include a special scooter that I have that I'm still working on that I need to bleed the brakes on. Once I do that, I'll do a comparison video. The best scooter for your money under $1,000. That's what it's going to be called. And you're going to be surprised by the video. You're going to be surprised by the competitors that are vying for that spot. Obviously, the Reywmer Kullter Max, the Segway Max G3. But there's another one that you have no idea what it is, and you're going to see it, and it's going to surprise you. It's a beast, but I'll show you. They could have made that scooter man, if they just paid a little bit more attention to it, a little bit more quality control, they would have had a phenomenal scooter in their hands, you know. But it is what it is, man. With electric scooters, as soon as you start getting complaints in, you know, I mean, the Chinese manufacturers need to understand that our internet is not restricted here. In China, it is restricted. You can't go to certain websites. But here in the United States, you can see everything for now, right? And people rely on reviews very heavily. And there's a lot of places where you can leave reviews for scooters and for anything else, right? Not just Amazon. There's like forums like Reddit and what's that other one called? You know what I'm talking about. Discord and Reddit, and there's so many out there, you know? And it's like these little communities that get together, you know, and they talk about scooters or motorcycles or whatever they're into. And once complaints start coming in, you know, it's very hard to shake off a bad reputation, especially in the very highly competitive electric scooter market. So manufacturers, if you're watching this, pay attention to your quality control. Before you ship that scooter out, make sure everything's working properly. Make sure that you're designing the scooter from the ground up. Make sure that you're not just doing it for the money, but doing it for the passion, right? Because if you put your heart into it and you really enjoy what you're doing, then you're obviously going to deliver a better product compared to someone that, you know, doesn't really care. So, oh, and the climbing angle on this scooter is 30 degrees, which is great. I don't have to worry because here in Miami, Florida, everything is flat. I mean, it's just flat out here. Perfectly flat. These are my scooter gloves, by the way. They're really awesome. I like them. But everything's flat here in Miami, so you don't have to worry about hills or anything like that. Remember that horror movie? The Hills Have Eyes. I never saw it. Or maybe I did see it. Huh. But I'm gonna do a review on this awesome Suzuki Cruiser also. But let me show you how many miles I have on the Segway Max G3. You're gonna be surprised. You see that? 1,252 miles. That's incredible, right? The external battery, like I said, it works. It's like a trickle charger almost. It's weird the way the system works, but it does get in the way of your feet, and it also affects the overall geometry or the riding characteristics of the scooter, because now you have an extra 7 pounds there, and because it's not all the way down, it's kind of like mounted up like diagonally on the stem like that. Because of that, you can feel it. You can feel it when you start doing turns and stuff like that. It just changes the riding dynamics a little bit. And so yeah, it is what it is, you know. There's nothing you can do about that. But and like I said, the Segway Max G3, this thing goes 28 miles per hour, which is super fast for a scooter. You know, what is that? You know, we need something a little bit more Segway. But you know, what else can I tell you? Oh, the riding capacity. This is important. Good. So sensitive. The riding capacity on this scooter is oh, before that, on the Segway Max G3, the lights themselves are wonderful. They are powerful enough that I don't need to add an accessory light. There's a light right there, and it has a good spread, enough lumens that it gives enough light to the street surface, and it's great. I don't have to worry when I ride at night. Now with the Reywmer, because of because they mounted this light so low, they really should have mounted it up here. But because they mounted this light so low, even though it's bright, again, you're not going to get that spread that you want, right? So I had to buy one of these things, and it works pretty good. I like it. What I like about it is that it has a daytime running light mode. You just press it and hold it, and it's nice, right? So it's like a DRL. The headlight is your front DRL, and your little handlebar light is also a DRL. And then you can turn it off, and then you can cycle through the different modes. This is like medium mode, medium power, low power, maximum power. It has a flashing mode. Why? I don't know. That's it. About the load. This is important. This scooter right here, the Segway Max G3, I was thinking about getting the ZT3 Pro because aesthetically looking, I thought the ZT3 Pro was nicer looking. And not only that, but the deck is wider, it's bigger. It's good for someone bigger like me. Problem is that the maximum payload for the Segway ZT3 Pro is 265 pounds. And I weigh 260 pounds. So I'm like right there at the cutoff, which is like, I don't want to stress the scooter, you know what I mean? So I decided not to get it and get this instead, because this one, the Segway Max G3, is 286 pounds maximum capacity versus the 265 pound maximum capacity on the ZT3 Pro. Now with the Reywmer Kullter Max, the maximum load is 300 pounds, which is great. And that's pretty much the industry norm. Like good, well-built scooters are always 300 pounds. But these high boy scooters and these, I don't know, some of these scooter brands, man, they think that everybody is like, they're short and they're Chinese. Or, I'm like, hello? It was all people, all different sizes, you know? I don't understand that, but whatever. They, let me tell you, a scooter manufacturer that has their maximum payload at 265 pounds, like Highboy and also NIU, I think, and a lot of the Apollo scooters were like that too. That's why I didn't go with an Apollo. I was going to go with an Apollo Phantom V4, but the weight capacity wasn't there. So if you guys are listening, scooter manufacturers, make sure that your maximum payload is at least 300 pounds, which is 136 kilograms, by the way. All right. I think that's all I wanted to say, right? Yeah, was it? I think that's it. Yeah. This video is 22 minutes in length. Oh, the other thing I was going to do is that the reason why I'm out here is because I'm going to install one of these side view mirrors. This is so important. It's so needed because now I don't really ride on the sidewalk anymore because it's actually more dangerous riding on the sidewalk. That's where you fall. All my falls have occurred on sidewalks because of the imperfections on the sidewalk. You know how it is. The sidewalks are poorly maintained. That's why I always wanted a scooter that goes at least 35 miles per hour so it can keep up with regular road traffic, you know? And the Reywmer Kullter Max fits the bill. So I don't have to go on the sidewalks anymore. And you know what? When I first got this, I did go on the sidewalk with it. And the first day, and look what happened. And I'm telling you, this scooter is built like a tank. I hit like a little, it wasn't a pothole, but it was a little hole or a little, something wrong with the sidewalk, right? And then, can you see it or not? Let me get my flashlight so you can see it. My little old light flashlight. So, it's too bright. So, can you see that right there? I was going like about 20 miles per hour and I hit like a little hole, if you want to call it, on the sidewalk. And immediately the scooter stopped, right? Because it got wedged. It just stopped. And I flew off. And I had a rib injury. It hurt a long time. But guess what, guys? Nothing happened to the scooter. See how it says mini motors on there? Nothing happened to the scooter. Nothing happened to the tire. The steering wheel wasn't bent, you know, because I've fallen on the Segway Max G3 before. And the front wheel got misaligned with the handlebars. And that's an easy fix, but whatever. So, what else do I have to say? No, that's it. That's just like a little bit, just talking out loud, a little TOL session. about scooters, specifically the Reywmer Kullter Max and the Segway Max G3. And I have a lot more content to send you guys as well. And I've been receiving some merchandise from people that want me to review stuff, but they don't leave me they don't leave me any material like directions or instruction manuals or anything. So I have no idea what I'm reviewing, so I can't really review it. So please, if you want your product, whether it be an electrical bike, an electrical scooter, or drone, whatever, if you want it showcased on my channel, please make sure to send it to the correct email, which is in the description box, or actually it's in the description, and it's also in other areas. And I made it very easy for you to find my email address, but it's superioroctane305@gmail.com. superioroctane305@gmail.com, and that's it. And please include your name, include what you want me to, like, what is your target audience, and what would you like me to focus on? Like, if it's an electrical scooter, do you want me to focus more on the suspension or more on the battery? Let me know, okay? Oh, okay, now the most important thing, the battery. Check this out. This is very important. The Reywmer Kullter Max voltage list, okay? So at 100%, it's 67.2 volts, and you just saw that on my screen, right? I don't know if that's I think it's an LCD screen. It's definitely not a TFT screen. But anyways, 67.2 volts is fully charged, okay? Then 90% is 65.3 volts, 80% is 63.4 volts, 70% is 61.4 volts, 60% is 59.5 volts. The halfway mark, 50% is 57.6 volts. Remember that, 57.6 volts is you're at 50%. 30% you're at 53.8 volts, and then 20% you're at 51.8 volts. Charge immediately. 10% is 49.9, 48.0 volts is battery is dead. I actually rode this. I rode it to test it, and I went all the way to the point where the BMS just shut down the scooter entirely. So, and that was somewhere around below 51 or somewhere like that. So you know what? It's like the one thing I want to know about the Reywmer Kullter, especially this battery manufacturer. I know it's 18700 cells, not 21700 cells, but I want to know if, and the charging time is a long time. It's 12 hours, like I told you, because it's a 3-amp charger. But I've always wanted to know if regarding the batteries, if like, you know, a lot of manufacturers have, like, depending on the battery, what kind of lithium ion battery it is, they'll tell you, okay, charge up to 90%, you know, only if you can, because it'll preserve the battery life, right? And then it also says, you know, if you're going to keep it and store it, keep it at like around 50%. And also, a lot of people say don't. Take a screenshot of this.